Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be doing a bonus video, which has been on the to-do list for a while. So yes, it's bonus, which is Anya from, I hope I'm saying that right, Anya from Mouthwashing, her base headcanons and traits and what have you. Warning, there is going to be some intense stuff in this, so please pay attention to the warnings and disclaimers. Thank you. First off, I'm going to do the trigger warning before and after the first disclaimer. Trigger warning and disclaimer. There is mentions of SA, Grape, and the Yandere Unaliving herself and you, her darling. Please proceed with caution. Now on to the regular disclaimer. Disclaimer. Anya is not Yandere in canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and Yanderes is fine. Just do not be illegal or gross about it. You know who you are, you dirty flaky biscuits. Yanderes are not ideal partners to have in real life. Also remember to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's it. So let's get on to, again, the trigger warning and disclaimer. Once again, there is mentions of SA, Grape, and the Yandere Unaliving herself and you, her darling, in this. So please proceed with caution. Thank you. Anyways, let's do this. Anya is a smart, kind, and determined young woman who has a passion for nursing, even though she is not the best at nursing and has failed to pass nursing school multiple times. Even though she has failed nursing schools 8 times, she continues to go as she is determined and passionate about it. Her passion and determination falls over to you, the person that she is in love with. She wanted you to be hers and she would have you as hers. She was a very passionate and determined yandere that would not give up on loving you and taking care of you. Before her assaults, she was much more lively and was more open with the other crew members, Jimmy included. She would spend a lot of time with you and love to spend time with you. She is always by your side and always taking care of you. She is a very loving yandere and always is sweet to you and with you and loves to spend time with you close by at all times. Of course, after her SA, she has become more soft spoken and meek. And she is trying to do everything to keep you away from Jimmy because she knows how dangerous and unstable he is. He does not want, sorry, I wrote he instead. One sec, let me correct that. She does not want you to be hurt by him, and this makes her become a hesitant but protective yandere, which means she is protective of you in her yandere side, but because of her assault, she is a bit more scared of being hurt, but her yandere protectiveness wins out and she will do whatever it takes to keep you safe and sound, even at the risk of her being harmed. She would put her life on the line for you to keep you safe, even putting herself at risk of being in between you and Jimmy himself. She also took the pew pew object and hid it only to hide it from Jimmy. To not only hide it from Jimmy, but also to pew pew Jimmy to protect you from him. As long as she has it, she has a way to defend you and you, the love of her life. After her assaults from Jimmy, she is also isolating you from Jimmy. She cannot tell you what Jimmy did to her because she does not want you to think poorly of her, but she can do everything to keep you safe and sound. She becomes a very anxious yandere if you would judge her of what Jimmy did to her, and she cannot reason that you would not judge her. It's a very delicate situation. She becomes extremely protective of you, even more so, and would eventually not let you anywhere near Jimmy, even when she is afraid of him herself. When she figures out she is pregnante with Jimmy's kid, she does not know what to do. She could not hide the pregnancy from you forever, or from Jimmy, which is even more terrifying. Because of this, she is a yandere that would worry and be so anxious of what you would with what you would think of her, and she cannot bear the idea of you hating her or thinking she was easy with Jimmy. When the crash did happen, the first thing she did was get to you to make sure you were safe and sound and not injured at all. Once she knows that you are safe and sound, she will do her best to keep you even more safe and with her at all times, and fears of Jimmy increasing at this point. This is when she will isolate you even further from Jimmy and maybe even the other two members of the crew, because she feels that like they are all dangerous and they will hurt you. As being lost in space continues, her mental health starts to slip as well, and she slowly starts to think of ways she could get you and her together in safety. Ways like you and her taking pharmaceuticals and going into a deep endless sleep where your life ends. She would try to brush these dark thoughts away, but as the months go on, she feels less hopeful and she her just wants you and her to escape this madness that Jimmy has created. She becomes even more paranoid and she becomes an even more paranoid and unstable yandere. She would deal with rivals by trying to isolate you from them and make sure that you only stay with her. She is not the type of yandere to use violence for the most part, and not the type of yandere that would unalive rivals unless push really came to shove. No, she is the type of yandere that would try and keep you once again isolated and may drug you to keep you away from others. When she finally confesses to you, it is like the last chance confession that she will have. She tells you that she loves you and she did not want to be her life to end existence without telling you how she felt for you. If you accepted her love, she would hold you close and secretly put a lot of medication into your water so that you and her would both unalive together and be with each other in the afterlife. If you reject her love, though, which why would you? She's an amazing woman. What is wrong with you? She will say she accepts it and understands, but she is so heartbroken and unstable at this point that she will also again put stuff into your water and have it where you and her are both under the influence and pass away in each other's arms, most likely with you passing away first and she unalives with your deceased body in her arms. There is no happy ending either way you go, and she will not and cannot lose you. She would rather unalive than live without you, and she would rather take your life than watch you be unalived by Jimmy or hurt by Jimmy. In her mind, it's a mercy unalivement. She did everything she could to protect you, and in her yandere mind, she did the right thing by ending both of your guys' existence. Taking your life was not her worst moment, but not truly by a long shot. Yandere headcanons, specific headcanons with Yandere Anna, with female listener, again, there will be mentions of SA, unalivement, and sluricide. And I want you all to proceed with caution because this does get a bit intense. If you were a female of Darlin of Anya's and she was yandere for you, she probably taken would have probably taken the assault that Jimmy had planned for you onto her instead. Basically, Jimmy probably had his eyes on you as well, and Anna took the damage of what he would have done to you. She would be protecting you in a way that is not typical for most yanderes, since she is not a yandere that would unalive rivals so much or threats you. She would take the harm from Jimmy that he had planned for you onto her to protect you from being harmed. But she saw the way Jimmy looked at you, and she kept Jimmy's attention on her instead of you, even if it ended up with her pregnant with his child. She would make every sacrifice she could to protect you, the woman she loved more than anything, so that you did not end up getting assaulted and feeling the shame and disgust and guilt that would come with it. Just like the gender neutral one, she would do everything to keep you away from Jimmy as much as possible and isolate you from him, but even more so because you are a female and a woman and an easier target for his rage. Because of this, she also makes you learn some self defense techniques and has you keep a taser on your person at all times. She would ask you many times if that you have it on you, and yes, it seems like she is hovering, but she could not stand the idea of Jimmy doing what he did to her to you. If Jimmy did try to do that to you or did do it to you, she would probably remove his member, his pickle, if you will, if you know what I mean, what dangles between a man's legs. Going into a blind rage, she would slash the pickle off and with a scalpel or even bite the pickle off after she seduced him and offered to taste his pickle, trying to not to get demonetized. Anyways, she would mock him as she watches him lose all the red liquid in his body and maybe even stomp on his family jewels. She is so angry that he would have touched you and hurt you that her yandere rage finally comes out. She may even attack Curly because Curly knew what Jimmy did to her and did nothing about it, and that way Jimmy ended up hurting you and you were the one that was suffering now. She is the type of yandere that would take the brunt of her abuse from Jimmy, but if a man ever touched you like they touched her, she would end them brutally. She would want the red stuff of their body for what they did to you and what Jimmy did to you. She would not stop until her revenge was made. She then would hold you and tell you it will be okay as she puts a pew pew in your head and then one in hers as well. Once again, the ship was lost in space and you were suffering. She made the easy choice to end your pain and go with you. So once again, you and her could be together while Jimmy burns in frickin' hell. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. I know it was very intense. Okay, come here, muffins. Let's all have a group hug. Hugs. Anyways, I know that was an intense video. I know. It was intense. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more mouthwash and stuff, I also still have to do Curly and Swansea base headcanons. I did Jimmy, and I also did Das. I can't say his name. Daske. Daske. Yes, that's it. Daske, and he is done. And he is one of my best videos for Mouthwash's fandom, so I really impressed with how much you love Guys Daske. I will have him linked at the end of the video, so you can click on him if you want, plus the playlist for all my Mouthwashing videos. If that is something you would like to see, I did a review of Mouthwashing the game, which talks about the theory of the theories I have for it and all that, and how it's a little bit skewed what's going on because Jimmy is an unreliable narrator and it's from his perspective of him being the hero. So a deep dive into that if you want to see that. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. Again, and now Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Thank you for my newest Patreon, Pumpkin Toffee. Thank you, Pumpkin Toffee. I appreciate you. And yes, I do have the Red Dead Redemption 2 video vote onto the Patreon, so you can vote, and then we can do which is voted most. It's a little bit for all the tiers, even the free tier, so there might be more votes than just you and my one other Patreon. Thank you, Pumpkin Toffee. I appreciate you very much. Love you. Anyways, thank you, Gav, as well. Thank you, Gav, for being my original and first patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Gav. I appreciate you as well. And I hope that you all enjoyed this video. And stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro, a baseball bat. Welcome to the secret outro. The secret outro questions of the day is: would you smash or pass Anya? Yes or no? Or smash or pass? I would definitely smash her. She is chef kiss, and also she reminds me, really looks like the girl from The Shining that is married to Jack Torrance, though his wife. Very looks like her, so I would definitely say smash. And also, would you accept her love? 100% yes. Probably before the stuff happens, because I would not want that to be the ending. But it's a dark horror game, so yes. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed and stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye.